Over 24 hours, Alfonso Dastis' visit stirred up a lot of expectation among the mayors of the Campo, hype among members of the Spanish national press, and, at best, wary suspicion among Gibraltarians. Friday's reception in La Linea was a formal meet and greet, but Saturday's meeting was time to get down to business. For 2 hours, Mr Dastis discussed the impact of Brexit on the immediate area around Gibraltar, as well as details of the central government's programme of investment in the region.
El campo de Gibraltar nos preocupa y por tanto también nos ocupa. Nos preocupaba antes y nos preocupa también mucho ahora con ocasión del Brexit. Como ya dije ayer, la atención al campo de Gibraltar tiene que ser permanente con Brexit o sin Brexit. Es una realidad que, en virtud de esa situación anómala de tener todavía una colonia en territorio español, pues está en una situación particular que tenemos que hacer todo lo posible por limar y por minimizar cualquier efecto negativo que tenga.
In answers to questions from GBC, Mr Dastis said Spain's government does not describe it as a border, but rather a fence. He said he would not be seeking to close that fence and hoped that the UK-EU negotiations wouldn't result in a hard Brexit. But if that were to happen, Spain's main aim would be to seek frontier normality for the benefits of the 10,000 workers who cross into Gibraltar every day.
Es la intención de mantener la apertura de la frontera tras el Brexit, y si tuviera un mensaje usted para los gibraltareños, ¿cuál sería?
Como usted sabe, nosotros no hablamos de frontera, sino de verja, y desde luego la vamos a mantener abierta. Y vamos a hacer todo lo posible para que el tránsito siga siendo fluido como lo es ahora. Y nuestro objetivo, como ya dije ayer y repito, es que el Brexit no tenga un impacto negativo en la situación en la zona, no tenga impacto negativo en los trabajadores que cruzan la verja diariamente para trabajar allí, y yo en lo que confío es que la situación de toda la zona mejore de manera clara y definitiva, pero para eso también hay que hacer frente a situaciones que no son aceptables, hechos ilícitos que se producen y a los que tenemos que trabajar para ponerle fin.
Pressed by GBC on whether he had anything to say to Gibraltarians, Mr Dastis simply said, "I've already highlighted our intention to seek a normal relationship at the fence."
Trataré de que el Brexit no tenga un impacto negativo en la zona, sino que mejore las posibilidades de trabajo, cooperación. Gracias.
The foreign minister said it was still Spain's intention to seek a permanent solution to the abnormal situation of a colony on Spanish territory, regardless of Brexit.
The building behind me has an echo of a colonial past. In fact, it was built by a British family a couple of centuries ago, and today it is the seat of the Mancomunidad de Municipios, which is a collective of mayors from all over the Campo de Gibraltar. And all those mayors presented sort of a united front at today's press conference with the Spanish foreign minister, but in reality, not all was well.
Firstly, eyebrows were raised when the mayor of San Roque, Juan Carlos Ruiz Boix, emerged from the meeting alone and gave his own unexpected statements to the press, describing the meeting as unsatisfactory and regretting there had been no major commitments on investment. He then abruptly left the building, claiming his microphone had been switched off, an allegation he then repeated on Twitter. However, the foreign minister and the mayor of Algeciras, José Ignacio Landaluce, denied there had been any falling out and described the meeting as cordial and in good spirits.
Yo creo que si se ha ido enfadado, eso se lo tendrá usted que preguntar a él. Yo espero que no. Creo que ha sido todo de lo más agradable y de lo más amistoso.
But then the La Linea mayor, Juan Franco, described the Spanish Foreign Secretary's announcement that he will invest heavily in infrastructure for Algeciras and Tarifa as a jug of cold water. There had been high hopes Mr Dastis would reveal that the central government would finally release some much-needed funds for La Linea. But all that was announced was a new dual carriageway between Algeciras and Tarifa. Speaking to GBC, Mr Franco said he was not pleased and that his city desperately needed funding.
Pero que recuerdo a todo el mundo que tengo 10.000 personas que trabajan en Gibraltar, que tenemos 8.115 parados y que ahora mismo el ecosistema de la línea corre un serio riesgo de supervivencia.
He added, if the Foreign Ministry wants to talk about co-sovereignty of Gibraltar, it has to realize that to sell it to the Gibraltarians, we either need to be pretty or have money. We are neither pretty, nor do we have money.
¿Qué queremos? ¿Recuperar la soberanía? Me estoy metiendo en un terreno, esto es opinión personal mía, no como alcalde. ¿Qué se quiere? ¿Recuperar la soberanía? Ya se lo dije al señor Margallo. Si quieres enamorar a alguien, o eres guapo o tienes dinero. Y nosotros ni somos guapos ni tenemos dinero.
Mr Dastis said he felt at home in this region of Spain and vowed to return for a future visit. But when asked if he would meet with Fabian Picardo, he said such a meeting was not envisaged.